Aloha and welcome to my podcast, Peace, Love, Abundance. I'm Renee. And if you're watching this live, maybe give me a little chat. Let me know you're watching this live. If you're not and you're watching this recorded, that's awesome. Either way, I am excited to be doing these live. I've been doing my podcast live for 3 or 4 episodes. Maybe this is a bit. Anyway, that's passé. But today is number 50 of all my podcasts. Yes, I am so excited. I am, as my title implies, I am happy AF. I'm happy as fuck to announce that I made it to episode 50. If anybody's ever done a podcast or even attempted and tried to get near 50, even if you've gotten over 50, you know that the first 50 is like passing a kidney stone. Maybe not like passing a kidney stone. It's more like maybe giving birth to a child, because it's your baby. It becomes your project. It's your baby. But there's definitely a learning curve, some struggle, time consuming. It's more than me just sitting here for 20 minutes and chatting with you all. It's very time consuming. Even when you get into the social media posts afterwards, my blog, and keeping it up to date on several platforms. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. What am I missing? I'm missing one. Spotify. Anyways, it's a lot. It really, really is a lot. So let me take this moment to gloat and be proud of myself for what I accomplished. I do believe that we should celebrate our accomplishments more. I think sometimes people hold back because they don't want to feel like they're throwing it in somebody's face. We often sometimes get caught up in a world of jealousy and envy, that whenever we see somebody else gloat, sometimes it's hard for us to be happy for them. So you know what? Be happy for them, because you deserve to gloat and have accomplishments too. If you don't feel like you have accomplishments and you're always just congratulating everybody else, then maybe that's a good sign that you need to start setting some goals and accomplishing some things. Because let me tell you, you're too old. I am 48 years old and figured out how to do a podcast, and I'm doing it, and I'm happy AF doing it. And also going into the future, I want to mix it up even a little bit more. I want to do more interviews. Also, I'm taking requests. If there's a subject you want me to cover, I'd love to research. So even if it's not a subject that I know off the top of my head, I would love to research it. And then maybe that's an excuse for us to do it as an interview as well. We can kind of banter back and forth and chat about it. And so, yeah, if you're interested in any of that, let me know. My email address, one of the easiest ones to find me, is my name. So Renee Stahl 108 @gmail.com. So just add the 108 after it. By the way, I can't wait till I hit episode 108. 108 if you don't know, is a very auspicious number. So that will definitely be another milestone to celebrate. So, 100. I'm not going to bypass 100 without some kind of celebration. But 108 has a very auspicious background to it. Google it if you don't know. Any rate, let's get to it. Celebrating, accomplishing goals. To celebrate this, I am offering my Connecting the Dots Goals Masterclass for whatever you want to pay for it. I set it up on my website in my shop that whatever price you want to pay, that's how it's set up. So anything from $1 to $25 is what I sold it whenever I sold it at New Year's. I often run it for $30, but I've had it on sale for $25. So I figured it's only fair that right now, $1 to $25, you choose, maybe $10, $15, $3, $1, whatever you want. I want this to be accessible to everybody, and I don't want anybody to have an excuse not to do it. So I don't want anybody to say, well, I don't have the money right now, I can't do it. As a matter of fact, even if the $1 is a struggle for you, let me know. Contact me directly, and I can figure out a way to get it to you for free even. But $1 to $25, and if you can do a higher amount, know that maybe you're paying it forward for somebody else, right? Kind of like being in the drive-thru at Starbucks and buying the person behind you coffee. Know that if you do choose, if you pay more than $1, let's say, then you are paying it forward for somebody else as well. I would love for everything I do to be free. I really do. I'd really love to be able to kind of detach from doing what I do for money. Given that, though, what I do is an exchange of energy, and that exchange of energy does deserve some compensation. Money is a form of an exchange of energy. So I've put a lot of energy and work. If you don't know this, I have a full-on learning website, a members portal with 12 hours of workshops and learning modules, much like this Connecting the Dots. And the Connecting the Dots is even on there still. If you even wanted to sign up for that for $10 a month, then I have that for you. $10 a month, and you have access to all 12 hours of all my learning modules and virtual workshops that I've created, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I've put a lot of work into it. When I look back at the last couple of years when I first started that learning portal, and then I added my podcast to it as well. I've been busy, and I do deserve an exchange for that energy. So I thank all of you who have already partaked in many of my virtual workshops, and to those of you in the future, I can't wait to have you do it, give me feedback, and move on with your life. Anyways, the goals, I start out by saying that I practice what I preach. So it is basically how I kind of get through my limiting beliefs, whatever stops me, holds me back, all my lame excuses, procrastination, all of that. We have to connect the dots of the past. In the past, I have been made fun of for, like, say, my voice. My voice as a teenager didn't come across too well. I was teased a lot about it. But all of a sudden, I found my voice. I found my niche, started teaching yoga, and I started having people enjoy my yoga classes and even enjoy my voice. That gave me the confidence to even do this podcast. So if you have any limiting beliefs that maybe have been with you since even a child, we have to work through that past. We have to connect the dots of the past and figure out why you have a limiting belief today. So I had to work through why do I have this limiting belief that I shouldn't do a podcast? I had to work through that, and I figured out that one of my limiting beliefs was my voice. I didn't think I had a voice, but I have found my voice, and this podcast has been a great way for me to exercise my voice. Even how it sounds, getting used to hearing your own voice is big and huge if you don't do it often, as well as having a voice with can I actually share my knowledge? Do people care about what knowledge I have to share, right? So there's that voice as well. Anyway, I practice what I preach. I firmly believe in my methods and my Connect the Dots Goals Masterclass and how I put together. You also get a workshop with it, so or not a workshop, a workbook with it. So you have something where you can print it out, write down, fill out the blanks, write down as you go through the program, the workshop, as well as I made it editable online. It's an editable PDF, so you could type it all in online, save it online, so it's not collecting dust on your shelves. And again, pay what you want. So if you have some goals that you're not accomplishing, or maybe you don't have any goals at all, do it. Pay what you want, $1 to $25 or anything in between. Pay it forward. Let me know if even the dollar is hard for you. Maybe you don't want to do a $1 transaction online even. That's fine. We can figure out another way even for you to get the payment to me if you still want to pay, but you just don't like buying things online. I want this to be accessible. I don't know how to explain that because I'm celebrating and I want to share this with you all. So let me know how I can help you. All right. Awesome. So this podcast isn't as much of a actual podcast as far as my other podcasts because I'm celebrating my 50 and 1 year of doing the podcast. Also, I just want to say 50 podcasts in 1 year. That means I only took 2 weeks off. In that meantime, I moved to Hawaii from Colorado to Hawaii. So Again, huge accomplishment to only miss 2 episodes. And 50 is it's just a great number anyways to end with the year. So I think it's what the universe had planned for me. But anyways, future podcasts. I want to talk about this. I want to, into the future, I want to do more interviews. I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the podcast. I want to do more interviews. So if you have, say, an illness yourself that every day you tackle and you get your day and you want to be an inspiration to others, plus draw awareness to maybe how to live your life. Like I had my interview with Miss Dulcimia, and Miss Dulcimia shared with us her MS and what it's like to live every day with MS and how nutrition helps her. And she wanted to bring more awareness to MS. As well as we talked a little bit about like autoimmune diseases and such in it as well. So if you have something like that, maybe you have a family member that you've learned a lot about illnesses and living through them, if you want to share that experience. So you yourself don't have to have the illness. If there's somebody in your family and you want to share that awareness, like even breast cancer awareness, colon cancer awareness, you name it. Let me know what you want to talk about. Also, along with that, any health, nutrition. I have lots of friends that are in the health and nutrition industry, yoga. If you want to talk a little bit more, maybe there's a subject that I don't know so well. Again, we can kind of talk back and forth and bring some more awareness even to that. If you have a business to share. However, I do want to say to multi-level marketing, I want to get into a segment of multi-level marketing, but that might be in 6 months. The first 6 months, I want to highlight businesses that people have started from scratch. Not a turnkey business, but something that somebody has started from scratch. Even if you're a personal trainer, that you work in a health club or a gym, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be somebody who works out of your house, is what I'm getting at. So contractors, if you do contract labor based on you having a specialty or a skill, I consider that as you owning your own business, and you can come on and let's promote what you know, your services if you have some, let's do it. Other ideas for interviews, let's see, I covered health, nutrition, self-care, awareness, like illness awarenesses, causes. So if you have a great cause, so even environmental, like out here, the whales, or getting rid of straws in restaurants, causes, all the plastic in the world. If you want to speak about a cause about, come on people, less consumption of packaging, less plastic. I would love to. I try and promote that and live that life, but I would also really, really, really love it if somebody from that, maybe you work for a nonprofit and you want to come on to my podcast and speak about your nonprofit and what cause you support. So let's do something like that. If you're out there and you're listening, let me know. Also, political. I don't tend to be the most political person. So I really need to step lightly and carefully into this because, it can get kind of crazy or scary, right? But I do want to go there a little bit. So like definitely even like women's rights and even, I don't know. See, I am so not political that it's kind of hard for me to even think about what we could talk about. But anyways, if you do have a subject that even might be a little bit political, global warming, climate change, right? That's kind of, to me, a cause. Like even when I was talking about stop using so much plastic, global warming and climate change or something like that. Now, we don't have to 100% align on our belief systems to speak about a cause or politically. As long as the 2 of us, 3 of us, 4 of us, however many of us there is, we can have a conversation that everybody gets to say their piece and their side of the story. Because I do believe that there is always 2 sides of the story. So if you can't hold your tongue or you get too irritated if you don't believe in climate control or climate change, I should say, and you just absolutely can't understand why maybe somebody else can, if you can't weigh the pros and cons of each side of the story, then maybe it's not a good one. Because I am one of those people who will weigh the pros and cons and try my best to look at both sides of the story. So if you think you're someone who can do that, where we can each pitch our side of the story, then let's do it. Let's bring some awareness. And I think that kind of covers it. I'm sure there's more. Anything. All ideas are on the table right now. All you need to do is email me. Again, my email address is reneestahl108@gmail.com. My website is reneestahl.online. So let's get something straight. The .com was taken for my name, so my website is actually reneestahl.online. That's spelled R-E-N-E-E. There's 3 E's in Renee. People can't seem to get that. They will look at my name on Facebook. It's obviously up there at the top of Facebook, right? But then when they're texting me, they only put R-E-N-E. But you got a cheat sheet right there. My name is right next to where you're texting or typing, right? Okay, so anyways, little tangent. 3 E's in Renee. RENEESTAHL 108 at Gmail is my email address. Website is RENEESTAHL.online. And you can contact me through either one of those. Let me know what your subject is, and we will set up a time to do this. I really want to get more into interviews and getting other people to find their voice and share their feedback. I'll be back to do a couple more episodes on the skin, because that's where I left off at, I don't know, like 46, 47, 48, and 49 were all about skin. So I have a couple more subjects I want to do on skin, and also that gives me some time to schedule some interviews. So let's set up some interviews. Let me know what you want to talk about. And if you haven't listened to my other episodes, obviously I have 49 other episodes you can listen to. You don't need to listen to them in order. Some of them kind of pigtail on others, but not all of them. It's kind of like a Seinfeld episode, right? If you do watch all Seinfeld episodes, you get to know the characters better. But within each Seinfeld episode, it's an episode of its own. It's a story of its own, right? Yes, so like Seinfeld, you can listen to my podcast without having to listen to it in order. So when you go based on the headlines, pick a headline that sounds good to you and dive in, listen to it. And I hope we can chat, collaborate, or thank you for listening. Do give me ratings. 50 episodes, and I really don't have very much feedback or ratings. I know it's hard to find it in iTunes myself. Whenever I was looking for it in iTunes, it's not easy to find. Just keep clicking on buttons or the 3 ellipses, those 3 little dots that pop up. Click on all that stuff, and you will soon find where you can give me a 5-star rating or even love the episode, whatever app you're in. So thank you for being here. I love you all, but this is where I'll leave you for today. Thank you for celebrating 50 in 1 year and 4th of July fireworks. I'm going to take credit for those. Let's do some fireworks in celebration of my 50 in 1 year. Have a happy 4th of July, and peace, love, abundance, and namaste.